Hey, what is up, YouTube friends and family? So I'm gonna make this one short. Finally got outside. It's about 10 something. Yes, SoCal does get cold. It was about 38 this morning, so I finally decided to come outside when everything started thawing out. But anyway, this is a quick video on what a major difference shocks make in your towing experience. Now, when I first got this truck, of course I had the stock Ranchos because it has the FX4 package, and a lot of those previous trucks, with the FX4 package, they came with Rancho shocks, and they're crap. They just last maybe a few thousand miles. They start leaking, and then they fade real fast. So then I upgraded to a BDS suspension. It's a puck lift. It just has a little spacer that goes underneath the spring on the spring perch. And I ended up getting the Fox 2.0s that were tuned by BDS. And it had kind of like the best of both worlds. You can kind of take some little backcountry roads, and then it had the compliances or whatever of street driving, so it was kind of smooth. I went, and if anyone's watched my previous or a few videos ago about my upgraded shocks, I went with the AccuTune tuned Fox 2.5 DSCs. These are the factory shocks. Let me turn you around. So these things, and they're dirty right now. I do clean them up. I like keeping everything nice and clean, just because, why not? I mean, take care of your stuff. But anyway, I had these things cranked up. So I just went to the desert. And anybody that's seen any of my other videos knows that I tow kind of heavy. It's not super heavy, but with my toy hauler fully loaded and everything, I'm definitely 13,000 pounds plus. And then I got some stuff in the bed, so it is a little heavy, and then that puts a lot of weight on your tongue, on your hitch and all that stuff. So what tends to happen with your vehicle when you're, like, say my wrist is the back end of the vehicle and I have my arm as the trailer. Well, this point right here where it flexes, if you have a lot of weight, it starts pushing down on the back. So your truck starts doing this. And then it gets that pogo action in the front because your weight distribution bars are trying to put weight to the front, but it's doing this. It's taking weight on and off of those weight distribution bars just because of the flex. Your weight distribution bars are not always just like tight, because when you do this up and down action like that, you're taking tension off of those springs. So just kind of the nature of the beast with that setup, but you need them. I think they're a must. Weight distribution bars are a must if you're towing heavy like that. So to mitigate all of that, I had cranked up my rears. I just did a test, and I have to manually do it. I can't go. They're not the E shocks or whatever that Fox came out with, but I have to go crawl under the truck, and I have two speeds, two different adjustments, high speed and low speed compression ratios, and I cranked both of the rears up. So I cranked the low speed and the high speed up to six clicks, so you up to 10. The front I did 5, and I felt like I didn't need to go any higher than that, because once you start going too high in the front, I mean, that's meant for your big bashing, huge whoops, kind of stuff like that. And it makes for somewhat of a really rough ride when you're just towing on the street. But I do have to say, everything I was getting before, that pogoing action, you go over an expansion joint in between, a transition ramp or something like that from one freeway to the next. Well, that pogoing, when you hit those expansion joints, is gone almost. It's almost eliminated. It'll hit it and then settle. And this is where I really feel they are pricey. Can you get away with your stock shocks or something similar, Monroe's, whatever, and have an okay ride? Yes, I think you can. I've had them all, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the towing experience is night and day. It's so comfortable. I'm steering the wheel with these two fingers, well, my thumb and my index, arm on the thing. So I'm just chilling in here like this, arm on the door, finger and thumb on the steering wheel like this, chilling. I mean, I let go of the steering wheel, I'm hitting all these bumps, and it's just straight as an arrow. And every little dip and whatever, an expansion joint, like I was telling you, soaks it all up. And it's so compliant. It just makes, it takes that kind of nerve-wracking sometimes when you're passing a semi or you hit one of those expansion joints and your thing's just kind of you're like, oh crap, what's going on? And you're gripping the steering wheel, right? None of that. It's gone. Passing, it eliminated almost all of my sway. I was getting a lot of sway. I do have the I forget the name of my weight distribution, but it's the one that has the bars that go into the L bracket, and it's like the friction thing. So you have essentially an anti-sway plus the torsion bars, but was Equalizer. I think it's Equalizer is the brand. But anyway, before I got these shocks, nothing changed with my truck. The tires have stayed the same. Everything has stayed the same. Pretty much all my weights have stayed the same. I have not got any new toys. That's the same crap I'd put in there. The quad goes in there too and everything. Everything's exactly the same except for the shocks. And it's just amazing. Passing a semi now, I literally get no sway. There was some winds coming back from the desert. When we crest the ridge up there, coming back from Ocotillo over here in SoCal, and you're coming back to the San Diego portion, so you're leaving Imperial County, coming into San Diego County, right at the crest up there, and I'm gonna say not right at the crest, but in the vicinity, once you hit the crest, and then on your way to the highest point, which I believe is Golden Acorn. That's the reason why they have windmills up there. They actually put the windmills up there because it is probably one of the breeziest areas, and it can whip. You can get wind gusts up to on a really good Santa Ana, or with storms coming in, I mean, you can get them up to 100 miles an hour, and that will blow a semi right off the freeway. I've seen it. I've passed by them. I've seen it actually happen firsthand, so I know what can happen in those high wind environments. Usually we don't tow in those high wind environments because we know it could throw us off the road. But with, say, 45, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts, you kind of chance it sometimes and you go slow. Well, we had some gusts coming back this recent Thanksgiving trip. I think there were about 50 mile an hour gusts. Barely even phased my setup. Before, when with my stock 2.0s that were probably getting faded, I'd get thrown onto the shoulder or the other lane. Very scary. Again, I'll let this plane pass over here. Again, and semis passing me and stuff like that, it just barely phases the truck now. So my advice to anybody that's towing with these trucks, if you don't have a dually, because dualies are just naturally stable, and you're not towing a fifth wheel, even with a fifth wheel, I would still recommend getting these shocks. And I've shown them before in other videos. Let's show them again. So there we are. Very, very, very nice shocks. And let's show the rears. So the rears are, hold on, let's go back here. Here we go. There's the rears. The reservoir is tucked up underneath, so you can kind of see there. So reservoir tucked up underneath, and like I said, I could flip those reservoirs upside down. I just don't like those knobs and everything being so close to the ground and all the debris. But I know I said I was going to make this a short video, but I just can't emphasize enough. Get yourself some good shocks. Even leaf springs do wear over time with all these loads. I probably will be going with a Deaver setup. Probably one of the Carly packs, heavy duty, because I do want that little bit more plush ride. Thinner springs, but more springs. It gives you the same payload rating, but just a little bit plusher ride. And maybe give my truck a little bit more lift in the back, because I think it's starting to sag. The springs will flatten out eventually over time, just like my trailer. But yeah, guys, get yourself some good shocks. That's really all this comes down to. All right, catch you on the next one. Later.